morning, everyone. My name is Chris Payne. This is my YouTube channel. If you like this video, give me a like, and remember, hit the subscribe button. What my channel is basically about is it's going to be about encouraging people and telling them through difficult times that they can make it. And I want to encourage everybody around the world, not just one person. I want to make sure this gets out to single mothers that may be dealing with different difficulties, single fathers that may have different issues. As well as right now we have the COVID-19, aka coronavirus, everybody that goes by that too. And there's also there's aunts and uncles and everybody's dealing with something. Some people lost their jobs, some people haven't lost their jobs. And one of the things I want to talk about today was if you missed a funeral because of COVID-19, and you're not the only one because I'm part of it too. One of the things that happened to me was one day I got a phone call from my aunt, and my aunt was telling me, she said, Christopher, is your mom around? And I was like, no, she's at work. And she asked me, what time does she get off? And I was like, well, she's already off. She got off at 4. It's a little bit past 4. She said, okay. And she was just kind of calm for a moment. And then after that, she told me, well, there's been a death in the family. And I'm thinking, okay, well, my grandmother's a little bit older. Maybe something happened. Maybe she fell or maybe something, I don't know. And then we started talking a little bit more and stuff. And then she told me that it was one of my cousins. And I was like, man, my cousin? Because my cousin, he's in, late teens, early 20s? And then when she told me, I was like, wow, and I don't want to get into too much detail about it because it's more of a personal thing, but I want to tell you that I'm still with you. And then she told me that he had died, so we started talking about it and everything, and then I told her I would call her back because I'm going to call my mom because she got off work. So I called my mom, and she was just like, wow. And he had been in and out the hospital, and then come to find out, that he had died and I was like, wow, okay. But I want you to know that it wasn't because of COVID-19. Everybody thinks that if somebody died, they died because of COVID-19, and that's not always the case. Just because somebody died during this time does not mean that they died from COVID-19. And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people are getting right now. Just because somebody died, it's like, oh, okay, this person probably died from COVID-19. Sometimes we should ask these people, maybe it's a loved one, or maybe it's a relative, or maybe it's a family friend. Maybe you should ask that person, why did they die? And then you get to find out more about the situation, just ask them and then just comfort that person saying, oh, okay, they died. They probably died from COVID-19. That's not always the case. So after they told me that, they ended up having his funeral and everything. And then I wasn't able to make it to that one. I was like, okay, I wanted to go, but I'm not able to go because of COVID-19. So the funeral happened, but the fact of the matter is that it was way upstate somewhere, and we're down here in Texas. So we weren't able to go. And then shortly after that, after they had his funeral, maybe about less than a week later, I got another phone call. And then they told me that my grandmother was in a hospital. And they told me she was in a hospital. I said, okay, well, she probably fell or something like that because she's older, elderly. And then they told me that she was in the hospital, and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, what's the prognosis? How serious is it? What's going on? And they said, she could probably make it, but the thing is, she's very, very sick. And I knew at that moment it was a real big problem. And I knew that it's something that needed to be taken care of. That's why they have her at the hospital. And then I asked her from there, well, is she going to go to a nursing home or is she going to come home? And they said, well, what we're going to do, because she's having, she's older and she's having issues, she's in the hospital right now. And then from there, we're going to have her come home. And I knew at that moment when they said that, it probably wasn't the best case. And it really bothered me because I already wasn't able to make the first funeral from my cousin. So this one I was sitting here thinking, okay, if something happens, I'm not going to be able to go up there because of what's going on with COVID-19. So shortly after that, I called the airline and I asked them, can I book a flight and go from Texas up north to New York? And the lady's on the phone and I'm calling her. And then she says that, yeah, everything looks fine. There's no restrictions or no guidelines or anything like that. I'm like, okay, that sounds good and everything, but I'm still thinking, man, I don't know if I can go because I got 2 sons and I got a wife at home. So if I go up there and then I have to come back down, that means that I would have to quarantine. And then I was thinking, okay, well, I'm already working home remotely, working from home. I can do it. But the fact of the matter is that I still got to look after my own health, and I have to look after my kids and stuff too, because if I get sick, they also get sick too. So it doesn't just affect me, it affects them also. And then I was talking to my mom about it because she wanted to go up there too and see them and see her family. But the fact is that it was really heartbreaking because we weren't able to go. So after that, a couple more days went by and I got to talk to my grandmother and I talked to her, but she wasn't able to speak directly back because of her health. And I knew at that time that it was very serious. And then I was looking at the situation, I thought to myself, this is probably not gonna end so well, but I wanted to try to be as positive as I can. And I just said, well, we never know what may happen, what may or may not happen. The only person that knows that is God. After that happened, I get a couple more days go by and I get a call, and then they tell me that my grandmother had passed. And that's when it really, really started to bother me, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I just had a cousin that passed away. Now I have a grandmother that passed away too. And how am I supposed to make it up there? There's no way I can make it up there because I can't even get on a flight because of my family. So then after this started sinking in, and I'm sitting here, I go outside and I'm looking around and stuff, just looking and thinking to myself, what am I going to do because I can't go? So then I start thinking and I said, well, maybe they can do a video or something. So I get back on the phone and I call my relatives and stuff, and then they tell me, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do like a video. And I said, oh, a video? Okay, that's a good idea. Let's go on ahead and do the video. And then, so we had the video, and I was able to see it through video, my mom and the rest of the family, and it was so encouraging to know that even despite COVID-19, that we still have the capabilities to video and still talk to people. No matter what the situation is, we can still, in some form or fashion, still work together as a unit and work together as a family and as a team to help one another out. And sometimes we don't think about that. We just think about, I lost my job, or I'm helping my kids with their homework, they can't go to school, or your husband or your spouse may be on drugs, or somebody in your family may be an alcoholic, but we don't think about the positive things. Yeah, I lost my cousin, I lost my grandmother, and that's not something that I wanted to ever happen, because I always told myself, if my grandmother died, I always said, okay, I want to make sure I can make it up there. And I felt like I wasn't there. I couldn't be there for her, and I couldn't be there when she was sick. And it bothered me so much to see her like in that condition, and knowing that there was nothing I could do to be there and say, hey, grandmother, I'm coming all the way up there to see you, and I'm down here in Texas. And all I could do was video chat, and that's all I could do. So I talked to her a little bit. She wasn't able to really speak back. But I was so encouraged because I knew no matter what happened, at least I was able to speak to her. And I think my only real regret about this is that she had her birthday last year, and my mom told me to call her. And I got a lot of stuff going on. I got kids and family, work, and different things like that. And I didn't go. I didn't call her. And I thought to myself, once I got to talk to her on video, if I could just make it up there, I could at least see her. And I said, well, I'm probably not going to be able to make it, but I can video. So I did that. But then, thinking back on it, that's my only biggest regret, was that I didn't follow through, and I didn't call her last year and say, hey, grandmother, happy birthday. I know you're getting older. Luckily I was able to see her about 4 or 5 years ago before. And I was blessed for that opportunity. But sometimes I do think about, that's my only big regret, is that I didn't talk to her before, about a year ago. And overall though, I think sometimes we just take things out of proportion, and we don't think about all the things that we could be grateful for. Like, we have food, we have lights, we got water, we got gas, and sometimes just having good health. Like, everybody doesn't have good health. And people should take that into consideration and say, you know what? They had this pandemic going on around the world, but the fact of the matter is that I have good health. Yeah, it may have affected a family member and stuff, but the fact is still that I have good health. You may be working from home, but you have good health. You may not have a job, but you got good health. You may have to help your kids with their homework because they're not going to school, but you got good health. So the thing is, we need to think about the things that we do have instead of thinking about the things that we don't have. And stop thinking about all these problems and stuff that we have and just try to encourage one another. This was the whole point of me making this video, because I want to send this video out to everybody around the world. I want them to see and know that, hey, you know, if I'm not able to be there with my grandmother, maybe I can help somebody else out with this video and encourage them. Maybe they lost their job, or maybe they have to help their kids and stay home with them, or maybe they don't have food and maybe somebody needs to help them. But at least I can try to do my part and send out a video and say, hey, here's some encouragement. If any way I can help you out, this is what I think I can do to help you out. I don't know where you are. You could be in the Philippines, you could be in the US, you could be in China, you could be in anywhere else, India, who knows? And that's all. I mean, I just like to encourage people, and I want people to come back to the channel and just know that I'm gonna update it. I'm gonna upload a video about once a week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday as time goes on, and we're gonna go from there. And I'm gonna keep on encouraging people. Now, what I'm probably gonna do, I may take a vote and see, but my next video is gonna be on helping your kids with your homework because you're staying at home and helping them because they're not in school, or it might be you just lost your job because of COVID-19. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But again, remember, hey, look, this is my channel, Chris Payne. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Hey, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.